Cheating wife gets caught with her boss after 2 years of infidelity. Sue: I just caught my wife of 14 years together 17 years cheating on me with her district manager of Aramark Refreshments for about 2 years now. Before I get into details, there is a backstory to all of this. I want you all to get a full picture and decide if she was entitled to cheat or did I just pay off a debt I owed. In 2012 I took my wife to get her tonsils removed at the hospital. They gave me her belongings as she couldn't take them inside surgery room. Her phone kept buzzing. I took it upon myself to see who was blowing her up and I read tons of inappropriate emails with another man at work. She was reading 50 Shades of Grey at the time and was referring to the man as her Christian Grey, something she would call me. I was pissed and wanted answers, but unfortunately, she couldn't talk after surgery, so on the drive home I handed her a piece of paper with a pen to answer all the questions I had and she wrote it was nothing but flirting. I grabbed my 2-year-old and briefcase of clothes and went from CA to AZ on a mini weekend getaway with my support team, my best friend and his wife, to stay away from her for a while. Once back she informed me that she deleted her email and it won't happen again. Fast forward a few years and I just could never get over the fact that she would betray me the way she did. I wanted to get even and felt that it was the only way to move forward from it. I met a client who showed me some attention. We started TEXTNG and while my wife would go out with her friends and party, I would secretly leave my son with my mom and go see this woman. We had an affair and eventually fell in love with this other woman. After about 9 months, my affair partner tells me she's pregnant. First thing that came to my head was playing Usher's confession song and actually confessing to my wife, which I did. She took it pretty well as she told me she had an idea and that God was preparing her for that moment. I told her that I wanted a divorce and would like to start a new life with this other woman. She told me that we can work things out, to go to church more and get therapy from the pastor and all should be great. How could I say no to that? I had to break the news to the pregnant AP, who was under the impression that we were going to start a new life together. The bad news that we weren't. Fast forward a few months and I find out my wife is now pregnant, 3 months apart from AP. She wanted to feel more secured over the other woman, so she basically forced us to have another child together. It's DEC 2014 and I went from having 1 kid to 3 kids in a blink of an eye. It's been crazy, but I'm there for all my kids. Now let's jump over to present time. Wife and I have had our fair share of bumps on the road, but I truly am loving the way we are raising our beautiful children. I have come a long way and have been faithful and committed to rebuilding our relationship. I go out of town for work from time to time, as does she. Just found out that for the last 2 years, she's been having this affair with her boss. Every happy hour event after work, every time she spent doing overtime, every trip to San Diego or Valentine's Day in Portland, he was there keeping her warm in a hotel room. Here's how I found out. She went for drinks after work and I asked, "What time do you plan on being home?" She tells me 9 p.m. 9 p.m. comes around and she's nowhere in sight. I call her and nothing. I get a text with a picture of her girl coworker and it's informing me that she's just grabbing a few more drinks before heading out. I found it so weird that she could text me but can't give me a call. I zoom into the picture into a napkin that was on the table and see where she's at. I drive 45 minutes from home to look for her and there she is at the bar with her boss with his arms around her. I walk up and they were both shocked to see me. She was quick to say okay bye. I'm like, bye, but I just got here. Did I interrupt something? She proceeds to tell me she's closed up her tab and she's leaving. I stay with her boss. The boss is drunk at this point and he's talking to me about his wife. He tells me that she doesn't pay any attention to him and how they do whatever they want. This is the first time I meet this guy and he's getting personal. He asks me if I've ever caught my wife cheating and I proceed to let him know that I haven't, but if I do, it wouldn't be a pretty sight. He orders another drink and I see my wife calling him on his phone multiple times. I found that very odd. In the middle of his drink he gets up and leaves to what I thought was the bathroom, but he actually leaves the bar. I take off home and have tons of questions from my wife. Her response was, "I'm sorry, I should have told you he was with us as well." I've never been the jealous type and a friend told me to check my phone records. OMG. My heart dropped when I found out she's been talking to him Monday, Friday after work for 15-30 minutes at a time. I confronted her with all the phone bills extending to 2 years ago and she informed me that after work she has end-of-day reporting to do and he needs those numbers to report to his boss. It was such a good lie. Keep in mind she's not salary and clocks in and out, so in HR point of view, Reporting numbers after clocking out would be considered illegal. I needed proof of their conversations, but how? I decided to record their conversations. I'm not going to mention how I did it, but once I heard what was said, my heart broke into a million pieces. She had conversations with her own cousin talking about how much he brings excitement to her life, and it's not only the sex but how funny and goofy he is. She talked about how dumb I was to believe the end of day calls were real. She said how they would have to lay low for a while, and where there's a will, there's a way. And then there's the conversation between the two of them, where they talked about how much they loved one another and how they make each other feel. Straight caught. I knew I was furious but didn't know what to do. Do I go to their HR? My wife just got a promotion. Should I tell them it's because she's fucking her boss? I did the only thing I could think of. I contacted his wife. I did a ton of research with some help, of course, from a good buddy that loves drama. Contacted his wife on LinkedIn and waited for her to call. She did, and I told her everything I knew. We put dates together and they've been having a blast for years now while we both were being played for fools. We did a 4-way call but they denied it all even after the recordings. They both finally came clean. Now I have to ask myself, do I stay for the kids or leave her because my debts from my wrongdoings have been paid? She's begging for me back, but I've moved out and pick up the kids to take them to school every morning. She still works under him and swears it won't happen again, but how can I trust that after 2 years of loving another man? She let him in her heart and pants. Is this my chance to leave her and start a fresh new life, or do I stick around to make sure my kids grow up with an undivided family? Is there hope for this toxic, unhealthy marriage? Should I get the district manager fired for his wrongdoings in all of this? What should I do next? I know 2 wrongs did not make a right. I'm here for advice if anyone has successfully kept their family together for the sake of their children. Let's read some comments. A 2-year affair, openly mocking you and planning to start up again as soon as the heat is off. Still working with the AP but it won't happen again. This is and about evening up a score. You will never get over this or trust her again, and you know it is not going to end. She will say whatever she needs to say right now because you are the safety net. You need to move on and heal. You are right. Thank you. First of all, are you sure those kids are all yours? Second, I don't think it's worth it. She will continue seeing him behind your back. Also, staying for the kids is a sure way to traumatize them. Your kids will see how resentful your marriage is and nothing more. It's just not worth it. Good grief, dude. Both you and your wife are a couple of lowlifes. Shame on all of you for involving your innocent children in this drama. No. You need to stay separated and file for divorce. Reconciliation is not an option here. You two have done enough damage and your children deserve 2 parents who are happily separated versus living together in misery. Your marriage is beyond over and it's time to stop delaying the inevitable. At this point, just concentrate on yourself and your children by being a good example that what transpired is not how a healthy marriage works, and notify their HR department and get them both fired. I agree with everyone that say move on and try to salvage the relationship you had with the other lady, cause your current wife is toxic. She only waiting on you to look the other way to fool you again and brag to her friends about how dumb you are to trust her. But if you are what your wife thinks of you, stay and get used to her cheating. Cause one stop. After her boss leaves her to solve his marriage, she going to find someone else. Tell me if I wrong. You right. Wish I could say you wrong, but you definitely right. You are both cheaters. There is no paying your debt to and can leave because it. Even now you are in a toxic relationship and should have left it long ago. You choose to stay for the kids not because you loved your wife. Mistake 1. She choose to stay because of codependency. Mistake 2. You are both wanting to stay now for stability not because of love. Mistake 3. Both of you leave this marriage. No. Wife just announced me she cheated. Hi all. We've been happily married for 9 years and together for 13 years. 2 kids together, 6 and 3. About a month and a half ago, she started feeling blue. She questioned our relationship to finally say it was not the issue. We talked about it quite a lot. The pressure of everyday life, raising 2 kids. I have a job that involves THT. I don't really know when I'll be working, so I know it's not always easy on her. But I won't say I'm absent. It's just that when I work, I'm not available at all. But when I don't, I'm fully here. We have been experiencing ups and downs for the last month. She made me realize I wasn't paying attention to her as a mother and acknowledging her for how she deals with the kids. So I decided to try my best and change, and support her, even if I don't agree. She has lost quite some weight too. During this month and a half I also started a therapy, to see where I could work on myself. We went on holiday with the kids in a foreign country. It was not all good, but not all bad. But I didn't know what to do anymore, so she wouldn't feel that way. Intimacy has always been amazing with her. Really good, and it didn't fade. Tonight she was supposed to go out with colleagues. She texted saying the night was cancelled. When she got back home after I went to get the two screamers, I started asking why it was cancelled, because she seemed so down. She asked for me to wait to talk later, after the kids would be asleep, and the news came. She cheated twice with the same guy, and it's the reason why she is so depressed. She feels guilty, says she doesn't know why she did it. Intellectually I've always assumed sex is sex, love is love. That being cheated on is not a deal breaker. I don't own her. She's a free human being as long as she comes home and I don't know about it. I even consider swinging as long as we explore things together. Until I'm cheated on, I am so f***ing angry and sad. The fucking sadness. A sadness so deep. It's 5 a.m. in France right now. I have to be up in 2 hours and get on with the day. We talked a lot yesterday evening. I've found strength to tell her I will do everything to reconquer her. She didn't understand why it was me consolating her. I think I mean it. I want to make this work out. She's my sunshine. I have so many griefs against her, but fuck, I'm madly in love with her. My heart has been pounding for 6 hours now. The ball in my stomach. And so afraid, and it will be obviously, at least for a period of time. Things won't ever be the same. Everything happened so quickly, without notice, no warning. I understand the psychological aspect of what she did. Again, intellectually I don't give a f***, but I do give a f***. It hurts really bad. I can't stop thinking. Retracing the last month, the intimate moments we had. That's my story. Crying in my bed, next to my wife, asleep, finally liberated of a month and a half of lies. While every time I fall asleep I'm having panic and crying attacks. I don't know what's coming next. I'm really scared and lost. Edit. Thanks all for your guidance. I've read each comment and trying to go through with my day. As for now, I asked her to leave and get perspective, and get treated. She's been depressed for a while now, and I mean clinically depressed. Only she didn't take good care of herself and has been in denial. She told me she doesn't know if she loves me or the kids. I asked my parents to come and take the kids away, to be alone or with friends and think about it. I understand your points of view, and each was interesting. I think she's honest. I don't know where I am at right now, if I'll be able to live with this. But you're right. It's on her. She needs to make the move. Work-wise is really complicated and I won't get into it. But I get it. Thanks a lot. Let's read some comments. Reconquering her was the worst mistake you made. Sorry to say this, but if you do the pick-me dance she's going to lose respect for you because you don't have any self-respect. If you want to reconcile she has to win you back. As it looks now the next she is stressed out, all she has to do is find a different man and blow off some steam. Later she's back by you because you love her so much. Came here to yell at the OP for playing the pick-me dance. Look, lots of us have made this mistake, but the post above is correct. She has to win you back, not vice versa. She is the who transgressed. She broke that trust. I stayed, and it'd been 32 years since her affair. In hindsight, I really don't know if it is my greatest triumph or my gravest error. I am proud I have been able to be true to my vows to her, but I have been suffering under her betrayal for over 30 years. It never goes away. I know for certain that if I had the chance to live it through again, I would leave. This is too hard for regular people like me to endure. I am very sorry about your situation. My trust has also been betrayed over the past 20 years. I recently read your post about you still seething with resentment after 30 years. What did you do about it? Or are you still seething? I am so sorry that you are going through this. Like you, I also had times when I even considered exploring things together with others and until the affair came to light. I even started blaming myself for feeding those thoughts. I am also very raw in navigating this. And I also want to fix things, but I fear that putting myself in that position of wanting to fix things make it work, is taking the blame for something I didn't do. As many suggest, the WH should be accountable in driving this process of reconciling. I hope whatever you do, it turns out for the better. My IC suggested me to not make big decisions yet, and I think that is wise. I am still balancing things and it all has changed quite a bit after a few weeks of DD. Your wife is sad because she in love with the other man, and she probably broke up with him or he broke up with her. You need to know the whole story before you consider reconciliation. What are her feelings towards him right now? What is the true reason her ended? Typically women don't cheat just for sex. They have sex because they are in love and wants the compliments in return. It's not a swinging situation. Chances are high that her breakup is temporary and they will be back together in a few months. And you will be reconquering her while she back with her affair partner, or a new love interest. If you are chasing her, it only tells her she can have a safe husband at home to take care of safety, security and the children while she has love stories on the side. To reconcile, she is the one who will have to re-establish trust, convince you that she chose you, and have remorse, empathy at the pain she is causing you. Good luck. Thanks for listening everyone. If you enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Reddit Zone to never miss a future upload.